Hello, this is Brad Wardell, the product manager of Stardock WindowFX. WindowFX is a program that lets you add, pizzazz to your Windows desktop as well as increase its productivity. What I'm going to do is give you kind of an ad hoc demo of it, and it's kind of unrehearsed, but I want you to be able to see kind of how it works as a regular user. So when you first load it up, you're greeted with this dialog, and it just basically lets you turn it on and off. And the first page is kind of its claim to fame, and that is the animations. And what it does is allow you to add a whole bunch of new effects to your Windows behaviors. So by default, Windows has animation, and that is, you may not have noticed it because it's so subtle, but things fade in and fade out, your menus and your start menu and all that kind of thing. What WindowFX lets you do is add different ones instead. So for example, and let me show you how I use it, and then you can decide for yourself. I'll show you a couple of these other ones so you can see if you like them. So my start menu, when I click on it, by default it just pops up. So what I'm going to do is go to my start menu. So it's on default animation. And I'm going to have it go start menu, configure from bottom left corner, because that's where I have my menu. And now when I click on that, you can see, oh whoops, I just turned on random. There we go. It pops in from there. So that's kind of cool. You can also have random effects, so when I click on that, it'll be a different one each time. But I prefer, like I said, I don't do the random ones myself, but they're available. Same thing on window movement. I can, let me bring up my favorite guinea pig, Notepad. As you can see here, when I move the window around, it now has some nice animation. It doesn't slow anything down, it's just kind of a nice little touch. And I even get some inertia. That's right, I have that off right now. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. Another thing you can do with this is that when I middle mouse button, it'll flip over and show me how much resources a particular window has, or even let me terminate it or open the folder it's in, which, you believe it or not, comes in handy more often than you might think. So same thing on menus. I have a very particular way I want my menus to work. By default they just fade in, but I kind of like this effect a little bit better. It's not any faster or slower, but it's just different, and there's a whole bunch of different ones I can choose from for opening and closing. And on the windows themselves, I have lots and lots of different ones to choose from for when I'm opening or minimizing. So let's see, let me just turn on random for minimize and restore. And so some of these are ones I would never use, and some of them are ones I like quite a bit. And I don't use random myself because there's some of these, there's a fire one, there it is. I don't like that one, but at the office, I go by people's machines and I see, windows bursting into flame all the time. So it's clearly popular with some people. The window management feature is something that we found very useful in development, and you may find it useful as well. And that is Windows 7 lets me take a window, move to the right, or left side of the screen, and it'll create a half-size window. What we did is we took it to the next level. If I move my window up in the top left corner, it'll create a quarter-size window, or same thing if I do on the right. Oops, I have multiple monitors here, so I went off the screen. But if I go up here, or if I go in the corner, or over here, there we go. It does that. Now, one thing I should mention, I can't demo it, but I have to tell you because it's kind of a big deal. If you have multi-monitors, stop listening to this video and just get WindowFX, because one of the things it does is it lets me do this. If I have a monitor to my right here, which you can't see, obviously, but without WindowFX, you can't actually do this, which is, frankly, I can't believe that Microsoft didn't put that in, but it's very useful. But if you've ever had to compare two documents, WindowFX is very useful for that. So ironically, it's not all eye candy, but that is something that's very handy to do. Another feature that is very handy is the right-click menu additions. And what I do, and I don't know about you listening to this, but I like to have my windows maximized to a particular resolution, so like 1024 by 768, so that when I'm doing web development, I know this is what they're going to see. It's going to, their browser is this size, and I don't want to have to guess at it or use some tool to try to size it just right. I just set my editor to be that resolution. So another thing that's pretty handy is that on the inactive windows, I can make it so that inactive windows are just dark. so I can focus on what's on there, and I can make it really dark or not really any different at all. But this way, if I go really crazy with it, the only thing I see is my active window, and then my inactive ones are really dark. Now it's probably a bit too much, but if you do it like that, it lets you kind of keep your eye on what you're focusing on. Other features on this screen include being able to minimize windows automatically if you're not using them after a while, or even make them transparent if they're not active. So for example, I click on this and then the other windows become semi-transparent. Movement is a very handy feature in WindowFX. I can have enable window flicks, which lets me, when I do that, then I just tell it to move a window around. I can kind of throw my windows around. I can also have it where windows automatically, let me turn that on, and it gives me a little inertia. So let's see. You see how I just, it's not easy to demo, but it means I can basically throw my windows around and get the behavior I want out of them. So it's just a little bit less mouse movement, which can be handy after a long day of doing this kind of thing. And then the desktop icons. Now, this is a feature that we get from our beta testers that people say should be built into Windows. I agree it should be built into Windows, but it's not. So for example, automatically hiding the text. This is something that if you're running at high resolution, the text is pretty much useless anyways. But here I can just click on this, and on my icons, the text goes away. And I can also automatically hide my shortcut overlays, which is handy because I don't like screen dirt. And if you just want to be able to quickly get rid of my icons entirely, I can double tap on the desktop and they hide, double tap again, and they show. So these are just some of the features in WindowFX, which is a freeware program. You can upgrade it to get additional features. Some of the ones I've shown you are only available in the fully upgraded one, but the bulk of these are available in the free version. So we hope you like what you see, and please visit us at www.stardock.com.